So I took delivery of my Cybertruck 391 days ago. But sadly, today's my last day. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I'm getting rid of the Cybertruck, what went into that decision, and also what am I going to do next? Am I getting another Cybertruck? I'm going to get something else? I'm not sure. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go through all the details and explain exactly why I'm getting rid of my Cybertruck. Okay, so now let me get into why I got rid of my Cybertruck. So I had the Cybertruck, like I said, for 391 days, a little over a year, and it's opened up so many opportunities for me as far as YouTube, meeting a lot of new people, things I've talked about in other videos. And I've had a lot of fun with the truck, but I've had, I think, one too many issues, specifically with inverters. I've had 3 inverters fail on me, which disabled my motors, and even one time left me stranded. And I have a little video here that kind of shows you that. So as you can see here, I was out camping, and it was very disappointing because when I was out camping, I got up extra early because my son had a basketball tournament that I wanted to attend. So I got up early, and when I went to unlock the Cybertruck, I couldn't do so. It totally locked me out. I ended up having to call United Mobile Charging to come out and save the day. The problem was I was in an area that didn't have a lot of service. And so what happened was I had to find service. I had to get on the phone. I was calling multiple people. I finally got United Mobile Charging to come out. They came out. They were able to jump my truck, get it operable. When I got inside the truck, that's where you saw that error with the red flashing light. And it was pretty much telling me that it was unsafe to drive. So what I ended up doing was leaving the campsite. I had to drive with it, even though it was alerting me and yelling at me, pretty much telling me not to drive. But I had to get to service. So I drove straight to service, got it there, explained what was happening. That was actually my second inverter failure. I had one, I think, about 2 weeks prior, and took a Tesla. They fixed it. But then, like I said, I went camping thinking I was good. I wasn't going to have any more issues. And lo and behold, I had the same issue. But this time I was out camping. And that was the first moment where I realized that I wasn't 100% sure that the Cybertruck was as reliable as I needed it to be, given the fact that I wanted to go camping with it. I want to go out to these remote locations off the beaten path and take my kids out and have a good time. But now I'm having that anxiety before going on any trip that is the truck going to leave me stranded? And I'm not the only one that has dealt with this. I know many Cybertruck owners, as you guys can imagine. I talked to a lot of them, and I know a lot of them have had the same issue where they go on a long road trip, and before the road trip, they're texting and we're in a group chat, and they're nervous and having anxiety over the fact that, am I going to be able to actually complete this trip? Am I able to go on vacation? Am I able to drive hundreds of miles and not get stranded somewhere? And that's because the inverter issue has plagued everybody. I get a lot of comments from people in my videos stating that they've owned their Cybertruck for X amount of months and have X amount of miles on their Cybertruck with no issues, no inverter issues. And my response is always great. But in my findings and talking to probably about 100 Cybertruck owners over the course of this 1 year, the inverter issue tends to happen at the 10,000 to 15,000 mile mark, and it's almost like clockwork. Almost every single Cybertruck owner I've known has had that issue around that mileage. So when I get a response or a comment from somebody that says, I've had my Cybertruck for 6 months and I have 8,000 miles and no issues, I don't know what you're complaining about. Why are you having so many issues when I have none? Like I said, you haven't hit that mileage mark that, in my findings and my research and with my podcast with Chase and Will, we talked to a lot of people, and that's what we found. Around the 10,000 to 15,000 mile mark is when it hits you. Now, unfortunately for me, it hit me those 2 times, and that was around the August, September timeframe of when I had the 2 inverter issues. Like I said, they happened about 2 weeks apart from each other. And when the second one happened, I kind of went, okay, even though I'm having the anxiety and I'm kind of stressed out a little bit before I go on any type of road trip or a camping trip, maybe it's behind me. I've had two now. Maybe I'm not going to have these issues anymore. It's behind me. I can just, enjoy my truck again. But then what happened was on Christmas Eve, I'm driving with my family. I'm actually headed to a supercharger to just charge up so we could go visit some family. And as we were driving to the supercharger, the front motor disabled. Once again, an inverter failed and the front motor disabled. At that point, I'm sitting there going, this is my third one. That seemed excessive. And in my research and talking to many, many Cybertruck owners, 3 was excessive. Everyone I've talked to has had at least one inverter failure. Most have had 2. Now with me having 3, that's excessive. That was more than most people. I don't think I've talked to anybody else that's had more than 2. And so at that point, I started really getting frustrated and really started thinking about, is my truck a lemon? Is my truck the issue? Is this a one-off where I'm just having inverter issue after inverter issue after inverter issue? So at that point, especially given it was Christmas Eve and I'm trying to go visit family, it's the last thing I wanted to deal with was a motor issue, inverter issue. And given the fact it's Christmas Eve, I couldn't drive to a service center. I couldn't take it immediately. The next day was Christmas. They're not open. So what I ended up doing was calling the service center, my local service center, spoke to somebody over there. They told me I can bring it in on the 20th, the day after Christmas, and they'll take a look at it. So that's what I did. At that point, in talking to Cybertruck owners and friends of mine, everybody was kind of pushing me in the direction of, I think you need to start exploring the lemon law issue, right? I think you have a unique situation with your Cybertruck that you've had 3 inverter issues. This is unique and you should explore it. So I did some research. I found out at the time, and I've heard from other people, but I did a little bit more digging, and I looked into what Tesla calls their buyback program. And what that is that when you have a vehicle from Tesla that's been in the shop for X amount of days, and the time frame is within a certain time frame, that you're eligible potentially for a buyback. And what I learned in my research was, when you take it to service, talk to the service manager and ask them about a potential buyback. So that's what I did. When I took it on the 26th to the service center, I spoke to somebody there and I asked them, am I eligible? And because they know me and I've been in there, more than most, they said, absolutely. We need to get a formal approval based off the fact that we know that you've been in here quite a few times. It's been in here for the same issue over and over and over again. We're very confident that you would be eligible and you'd be approved. So I asked what would be the next step. They stated that I needed to send an email to them stating all of my concerns, all of my issues, and they would get that information, get that email, and forward it to the powers that be, so to speak. So that's what I did. I actually sat on that for a few days because I really, like I've stated in my 1-year review, that I love the truck. I love the way it drives. I love everything about it as far as the drivability and how nice it just drives. So I didn't want to get rid of my truck. Plus, I love all the mods and things I've done to it. And, once again, YouTube and the community and all that, I've had a lot of fun with the truck and with everybody I've met. But I had to really think about this because, like I said, I want to camp with my truck, whatever truck that is. I want to go camping. I want to spend time outdoors with my kids. And at this point, I don't think that I had the confidence to do that with my Cybertruck, my specific VIN number, my Cybertruck. So I sat on that for a few days. I finally decided to pull the trigger and send the email to the service center stating my concerns and my experience with the Cybertruck so far. And within a few weeks, I got a response back saying I was approved. I was approved for the Tesla buyback and that I needed to send them some documents. I needed to send them my payment history. I needed to send them just a few documents so that way they can pretty much provide a proposal to me of what the dollar amount would look like for that buyback.
So I did that right away. I think it was the next day. I sent them everything that they needed. And about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks went by again. And I received an email back from them with the dollar amount. And they were essentially giving me all of my money back besides the mileage. And the way they calculated that was they went off of the mileage at the first incident, which was the first inverter failure. They took that mileage up until that point and they did their calculation to come up with a dollar amount. They were going to subtract from the total dollar amount that I had spent on the Cybertruck so far, even beyond the issues. So the mileage only went up until the first issue, but even all the payments after that and everything that I spent after that, they were going to give me my money back. So at that point, I felt like it was a no-brainer. It was a situation to where if Tesla was going to do right by me and give me essentially all of my money back minus mileage, I felt really good about that. I felt like that was a good deal for all my headaches, all of my concerns, all of my stress, anxiety, all that they were just going to give me all my money back. And so, like I said, I sat on that for about a day or two and just decided that I couldn't say no. At that point, I have to say yes. Maybe my specific Cybertruck was a lemon, maybe it's not as reliable as others. And I know people that are well into the 20,000 mile mark and they've had only one inverter issue, or maybe they've had two. But for me at that point, at about 18,000 miles, already having three inverter issues was something that was tough. I still kind of struggled with the whole process and the whole idea of getting rid of my truck because, like I said, I really do love the truck. But what happened was in mid-January, as I'm going through this process, I had another alert come up. So I was driving and all of a sudden I get an alert that says adaptive ride control unavailable. Never seen that alert before, didn't know how that came up or what exactly happened. I think what I was going to lunch from work. I think I just got into the truck to go grab something to eat. And as I was leaving my parking lot at work, this popped up. And so at that point, I wanted to do a little bit more research. So what I ended up doing was going into the alerts menu. And in that menu, you could see what it states there. It says, what this alert means, your vehicle's powertrain requires service. Power, speed, and acceleration may be reduced, and your vehicle may need to shut down while driving. That is extremely scary reading that. This alert indicates a persistent condition requiring powertrain inspection and service. Even if this alert clears after the current drive and does not return during subsequent drives, service is required to resolve the powertrain issue your vehicle has detected. What to do? It is recommended that you schedule service for your vehicle's powertrain at your earliest opportunity. Without service, your vehicle may continue to have reduced power, speed, and acceleration, may experience conditions that require it to shut down while driving, or may become unable to drive. So that was very, very scary to read. And if you listen to my podcast and you watch our podcast, I had one of my friends, Brian, come on to the podcast and he was discussing how he lost power in his Cybertruck while heading off to, because he runs the Cyber Odysseys event where Cybertruck owners get together and go off-roading and do these really cool adventures. And he was heading out to one of these adventures that he runs. And as he was leaving, it was very early in the morning. It was still dark out, and his Cybertruck just shut down in the middle of the road, and his hazards wouldn't work because it's just shut down. And exactly what happened to me when I was camping, just total shutdown. And that's very scary. And so now at that point, I'm mid-January and I'm thinking to myself, I've had three inverter issues, three inverter failures, and now I'm getting this new alert that I'm very unfamiliar with. I haven't heard from anybody else having this issue up to this point. And it's telling me that at any point I could just lose power. And that was very unsettling. And that was the moment that I said, I have to get rid of this truck. I could no longer trust it. I could no longer feel safe going on trips with my kids, going out to remote locations where the next city is, 100, 200 miles away. That was the stamp for me. That was the stamp of approval. That was you have to get rid of this truck, Eric. You cannot continue with this specific truck. And so I was already in with the buyback, but in that moment, it was just, I have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to just proceed with this. They're going to give me all my money back. I shouldn't feel bad about this anymore because the truck for me is not reliable anymore. So I was happy with how Tesla was handling the situation and how they were making good by me, but I was still sad because, I'm getting rid of my truck. So that's what I did. I ended up agreeing to their buyback. They then coordinated with me on a date that would work for them and for myself, to what they would call a surrender date, a date that I would bring it in, give them the truck, and sign all the paperwork. So I did that about a week ago, gave them the truck. So you could see that this process got stretched out almost 2 months. It's a slow moving process. It's not something that just, you talk to the service, you send the email, and within 2 or 3 weeks, you're complete. This was about a 6-7 week process, which is no big deal because I wasn't in a rush. But every day I drove the truck, it was still that whole, am I going to lose power? Am I going to get stranded somewhere? And that was unsettling. And that was something that I didn't like, having that feeling. But once again, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't going anywhere crazy. I kind of kept my travels to a minimum as much as I could. And so I surrendered my Cybertruck. So I no longer own a Cybertruck. I no longer have my Cybertruck. And multiple questions now come up. What am I driving now? And then also, what am I going to do for the future? So let's address the first question. What am I driving now? So if you've been watching my channel from the beginning, you would have seen a video way back when on an adapter that I was reviewing, which was giving me the ability to use my Tesla wall connector and charge any other EV that has a J1772 plug. And so in that video, I was showcasing my Jeep Wrangler 4xe. And so that is the vehicle that I'm driving currently and that I will be driving for the foreseeable future. And so then that takes us into, is that going to be my vehicle moving forward? And the quick answer to that is no. That's not going to be my vehicle moving forward. I'm going to be in the process of looking at other electric vehicles, and I want to see what else is out there. I want to see how they compare to the Tesla Cybertruck, and I'm going to do content on that. I'm a big sports guy, so I look at this as like I hit free agency. So I was in a contract before, and now I'm a free agent, and I want to see what's out there. I'm not giving up hope of coming back to my team, so to speak, coming back to the Cybertruck. That's still in play. I'm totally open to getting another Cybertruck. I would have no issues with that. But before I just go ahead and do that, I want to go see what else is out there. And I know that there's a lot of other SUVs and trucks because that's where I'm at. I need a truck. I need an SUV because, like I said, I want to go camping. I want to go on these road trips and remote locations and on these adventures, especially with the Cybertruck and the Cyber Odyssey. Big thanks to Brian, by the way. Just being able to go out to these off-roading adventures and having a lot of fun with other EV enthusiasts and owners and a lot of Cybertruck owners. We go out there and we have a really good time. Strength in numbers. If we need help, we're able to help each other. And it's just a fantastic time, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And the really cool part about Brian and Cyber Odyssey is they're open to all EVs. So it's not like I have to have a Cybertruck. So I'm open to looking at other electric vehicle SUVs and trucks and, some of the big hitters, right? We have the Ford Lightning. That's something that I want to go look at. There's a lot of pros and cons that come with each and every vehicle, just like the Cybertruck. And I want to go see what they are. I want to see what the pros and cons are of the F-150 Lightning. I want to go see what the pros and cons are of, the Hummer EV, whether it's the truck version or the SUV version. I want to see what those look like. I want to see how they feel. I want to see how they drive. Something that I'm really intrigued about and I want to go take a look at is the Silverado EV. That has 450 range. Right here it says 440 range, and I've heard you even get more than that. And so that's something that's very intriguing, because that's something that I've complained about with the Cybertruck, the range. And if I'm going to get up to 100 more miles, I'm open to that. Obviously, there's also what I would consider the Cybertruck's biggest competitor, and that's the Rivian. I want to go look at the Rivian. I've driven a Rivian once and I enjoyed it, but I didn't spend a lot of time with it. So I want to go look at them. I want to go see how they feel, how they drive. I know that they're one of the best off-roading electric vehicles on the market. And that is a huge plus for me, because like I said, I want to go camping. I want to go overlanding. I want to go, as you see right here, hitting the dunes. I want to go do all that stuff. And I need a vehicle that can do that. And so the Rivian is a top contender for that. And then I think the electric vehicle that I'm most excited about right now, unfortunately, they're not out and they won't be out for a while, is, quite frankly, the Scout. I love everything about the Scout. I love the features. I love the looks. I love what they're doing with the generator that they're putting in the Scouts, so you can get up to 500 miles of range. That's something that I'm really excited about, because I think that's kind of what's needed, especially for my use case. And then when you're talking about generators on board on a truck and being able to give you more range, then you have to talk about the Ram Charger. I think this is something that is going to be really, really intriguing. I've owned Rams in the past. I love Rams. And now they're getting into the electric truck space. And they're also doing a range extended variant, where, from what I hear, you can get close to 700 miles of range. And that is crazy. That is ridiculous. And you can see 690 miles of range. Their payload of over 2,600 pounds, 14,000 pound towing capacity. This right here is a game changer. And unlike the Scout, this is coming out 2025. So now the dilemma becomes, how long can I wait? Do I want to wait for a Ram Charger? Possibly 6 months, 9 months, until I am able to get my hands on one? Maybe even longer. I know I can't wait till the Scout. Scout is projected 2027, I believe. But like I said, I'm open. I'm a free agent. I want to go look at the Hummer. I want to go look at the Lightning. I want to go look at the Sierra EV, the Silverado EV. I'm excited about the Ram Charger. I'm excited about Scout. But what I want to do too is I want you guys to give me some input. I want you guys to tell me, what do you want me to go look at? Is there something I'm missing? Is there a vehicle that's coming out or just came out or is out right now that you want to see? I think I have a unique point of view here. I think I'm one of the very few, maybe only person that has owned a Cybertruck for over a year that no longer has the Cybertruck, who is in the market to buy another EV, SUV, or truck, and is now going to go out and look at them and really see how they compare, because I own the Cybertruck for over a year. I know what the Cybertruck can do. I know what it can't do. The whole basis of my YouTube channel was to see, can the Cybertruck actually truck? Because I've owned many trucks in the past, and the answer was yes. But it did have its limitations. So now I want to go out. I want to explore other vehicles. I want to explore other trucks, explore other SUVs. And I want you guys to have input on this. I want you guys to go into my comments. I want you to tell me what you're most excited for me to go look at. Give me some recommendations. If there's something that I kind of threw out right now, this is my short list right now. I'm open to making that list a little longer and doing a little bit more content and really doing my due diligence and looking at everything in the marketplace. So give me your input. Tell me what you guys want me to look at. Give me some suggestions. And like I said, I'm going to do some content. I'm going to go see all of these vehicles. I'm going to do videos on them. I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about what I like, what I don't like. And then I'm going to also give you guys some opportunities to give me input. And, I want my community that I have, and it's a great community. I know my channel is still small, but I have a lot of good community members who are constantly messaging me on different social media platforms. I mean, some of you guys even have my cell phone number. That's just facts. And, you know, I get text messages, I get DMs and comments all the time in my videos. And I want you guys to have input in this. I want to be unique. I want to give you guys an opportunity to have a say in what you think I should go look at. And when I get to the point of really narrowing it down to maybe 2 or 3 vehicles, I'm going to ask your guys' opinion. I want to know what you guys want me to buy. And because I'm going to be making content on this. And I want you guys to be excited about that journey with me. So that's my experience of selling my Cybertruck back to Tesla and going through their buyback program. Overall, very pleased with how Tesla handled this. I'm very excited for the future of what vehicle I'm going to get and as well as that journey. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you guys can all stick with me through this process. I hope you guys don't unsubscribe just because I don't have a Cybertruck currently, or possibly may not have a Cybertruck ever again. I don't know. Like I said, at the end of the day, I may just go back to Cybertruck. I'm not sure. I got to see what's out there. So once again, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. I still have some Cybertruck videos coming out because I have a backlog, but I just wanted to get this video out before because I wanted to share this information. I want to be real. I want to be transparent with you guys. Once again, thank you guys. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.